All right. Thanks, everyone, for coming. This is the Unpopular Opinions Lightning Talks. And we are, we're trying to go back to the tradition of Lightning Talks where we gather ideas during the conference. And we want people to have last-minute things they want to talk about. In fact, we're challenging you even more to say, we don't want just demos of what you did. We want ideas, right? So that's the idea of the Lightning Talks. I'm Andrew Lee, and that's Sam Klein right there. We are your humble, hopefully hands-off curators of this, because I think we have a pretty smart crowd here that knows how to do these things. There is an Etherpad there if you want to jot down any notes. If you think something is great, jot it down. We'll take those notes. We are video recording this because this is not on the main system. So we're doing just a recording on the mobile phone. If you don't want to be recorded, let me know, and we'll take that part out of the video. But we thought we're going to have so many great speakers today, it'd be a shame if we didn't get to share that out to other folks. So this is not on the main system, but we're trying to record them today. So there's the Etherpad, there's the QR code to get to that Etherpad. This is the session if you want to get to the session page for these Lightning Talks, and the Wiki link to the actual page where we are about at the space where we have about 10 to 12 talks, which should fill up most of the time. But if we have some time, you can add an idea or a short, a mini, even smaller than 5-minute talk if you want to mention something. So again, the idea here is to share with this challenge unpopular takes or wild ideas about improving the movement. And because of the bandwidth and the way that the sessions run, it's only people here that can talk. But we do have one recorded talk that we're going to show. So this session invites you to step outside your comfort zone and propose unconventional, provocative, or wildly idealistic changes. No proposal's too strange, but hopefully you're doing it in good faith, with a dash of humor and a lot of heart. So these are the only rules we're looking at today. So be thoughtful, respectful, and constructive, rooted in a desire to improve the Wikimedia movement or its community. The safe space policy still applies. This is not an exemption zone. 5 minutes, we're going to tell you to stop very, very abruptly, right? So try to keep it, not try, keep it.
That's only an upper limit. Shorter is better, people will remember it longer.
That's right. Max 5 minutes. Feel free to stop before 5 minutes. First-time speakers get priority in that some people put 2 or 3 ideas. We're going to make sure everyone gets a chance to speak before we even think of a second round of the same speakers. Okay? And if there's discussion time or Q&A, we might do that as well. All right? But let's first start with Galder, the Klein. Give him a hand. Okay, we got to go to your slides at the end. You see it there?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, present.
I think just I don't know.
It's a Mac.
I know, exactly. How do you start the slideshow?
Slideshow. Yeah.
Just click it? Just,
Oh.
oh, we went to history. No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so in Galder, I'm going to present what Wikipedia is not. So, I tried to define some months ago in English Wikipedia the inclusion of an explanatory video about a very specific past author at English Wikipedia. I mean, it's a video that is quite well done, has good sites, and is working in the schools. So it was reverted, saying, there is a reason we generally don't include videos in articles. Ones like this very rarely do anything but duplicate existing information in a worse medium to our readers. So video is worse than, having a video is worse than reading. So I tried to challenge that and open a discussion. I didn't edit word, I only said, why is that? So I was insulted actually. I was accused to being part of a terrorist organization. I was quite harsh and even tried to dox, which is strange because my photo is in my profile, so it's like, yes, I'm that person. But pointing to an interesting page that is Wikipedia is not YouTube. So if you read this site that has been there for years, you can read Wikipedia from Wiki, meaning quick, and Encyclopedia, meaning not YouTube. Which I wonder, can be applied to any other thing? Can we apply this that Pedia means not YouTube, like to any other thing we are doing? So I try to see what there's parent or student will be. And if you type Wikipedia is not, you have a longer list of things that we are not. Like For example, we are not guacamole, but I don't know. That's me. It's there. Some are quite interesting, like, okay, it's not for things made up one day or replace 2.0 resume. I mean, they're quite interesting, but Wikipedia is not YouTube. That strange thing is there, and it's contradicting other things that are on Wikipedia. So I wonder, Wikipedia is not Spotify. We should be actually deleting all music, because music is a distraction from text. Text is way better. I mean, you can read about Allegro con Brio from Beethoven's Fifth Symphony there, instead of just hearing of that. And Wikipedia is not Flickr. Why are we uploading quality images instead of just boring images of whatever? And we are promoting to have high quality images, even in the front page of each Wikipedia. No, maybe some not, but most of Wikipedias have like quality images. Shouldn't we be deleting just this photo and just relying on text and describing, for example, this Arasknia levana butterfly? Wikipedia is not Google Maps. If someone wants a map of a place, they have Google Maps that is the best one. It's like YouTube is the best one. So we should get right of this. Who wants to know where is Nairobi by a map when we can describe it by text? That is the best option we have. Wikipedia is not a Stack Overflow. Why do we have? I mean, who understands this? Actually, it's better to get rid of that. And yes, if you want to learn about how to code, go to Stack Overflows. Way better. And Wikipedia is not Encyclopedia Britannica. We can't get rid of all texts that are interesting, because text belongs to writing encyclopedias. So I point here this because now it's a twist. It's like Wikipedia has an article about the reliability of Wikipedia, which Encyclopedia Britannica doesn't have. So we are way better than that. And we are better because we include text, we are including images, we are including audio, we are including code, and we are including videos if we want. So my final point is both in this case, is Wikipedia is way better than all of those combined. And I propose to people here to start thinking about this Wikipedia is not YouTube idea and try to rebate that, because actually the site, I don't know how to pronounce that, is very well written and has very good arguments, but it falls in the idea that video is one of the lowest arts that can be for an encyclopedia. So text is the best thing, and we can't, I think that we can't be like that. Like yesterday was another talk saying that more people is going to education searching on YouTube than on Wikipedia. So we should start thinking of how to improve that. And that's it.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Next on our list is Maddie.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
I'm Matti, or username is NB-1. My unpopular opinion is that we should get rid of the criteria of notability in all wiki projects. And, here's mine. So yeah, we should get rid of the concept. First, I will argue like why is it damaging to the project. Second, why we don't even need it. And yeah, the conclusion is obviously we should get rid of it. So it creates a lot of frustration, especially for new users. They don't really know what are the criteria for inclusion among, like, regarding notability. This is hard to read, I know, but this is just for English Wikipedia. There are 15 subpages that explain notability for certain topics. I think in German Wikipedia we have fewer, but longer list of like what is the inclusion criteria for companies, for people, for whatever. Nobody wants to learn about that. And so it turns away a lot of people who might contribute something that might not be read a lot in the beginning, but it gives them motivation to stay within the project. And so not having notability creates a positive impact here, or not having this concept and this limits. Secondly, we don't even need it. All the things that we try to regulate with this concept of having notability are already regulated with other things that stem directly from the 5 pillars of Wikipedia. That we need neutral point of view, obviously. So if someone just wants to write about themselves and how super they are, that's not AMPOF, so we have good reason to delete that. If someone is writing about something that has no sources whatsoever, or at least no credible sources, we have a good reason to delete it without referring to notability. If someone is doxing someone, for instance, we have personality rights, we have a good reason to block that already. And also, in the end, we want to create on Wikipedia's encyclopedic content. So if something is like just not encyclopedic, we have a good reason to delete that without ever going to this argument of not notable. So yeah, the concept is, let's focus on the 5 pillars. They already solved the problem without having this concept. We have so many wiki projects already that don't really have the concept of notability. Wikidata is one, Commons is one. They work pretty well, not perfect, but pretty well. And even if it leads to having sites on Wikipedia about topics that nobody cares, what's the harm? So yeah, those are my arguments. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much. You may be surprised, I think Larry Sanger agrees with you. He once said we should not have notability. So I don't know if that's a compliment or not to say that.
I mean,
yeah. Rosie, are you here?
Yeah.
Awesome. And for speakers, there's a timer sitting right there for you to see.
Okay, I think I'm going to be really short. So, as you can see, my talk is about an experiment that I think I'm going to do no matter what your opinion is, but I do want your feedback. I've created something over 6,400 new articles, and so I'm thinking, because I do a relatively poor job with my leads, which are generally 1 or 2 sentences, well, generally the articles I create are C class, so they're about this big. Should I go back and look at the ones that over the course of the last 18 years, some of them have significantly been improved by others, but those where the lead is still 1 or 2 sentences, should I go back and use my Gemini AI assistant to help me expand my lead, even by 1 sentence? I mean, I'd have to think through what my prompt is going to be and maybe play around with it. So I've asked others, and I've gotten some feedback. A couple of them said, for an experienced editor like moi, LLM assistants could help me with my productivity, and another said that they were surprised at the number of strong reactions against that. But as you can see on the right side, there were 3 opinions that opposed me even trying it. So now I'd like audience feedback. And so by a show of hands, and maybe somebody can help me with the counting, just your opinion. Should I try it? It's a yes, no question. So show of hands. How many people think I should try it?
Whoa!
Okay, hands down. And how many people think I shouldn't? Okay, thank you very much.
No, Rosie, say to the camera how many you saw.
Oh, I didn't count because we're so
No,
many.
what percent was yes?
Oh, okay, so let's do this again.
No, just roughly. What percent was yes? 75%? 75? At least 2/3. At least 2/3.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mine
Okay.
is more like, I think you have better consideration.
Yeah. So that was, I was.
Yeah,
I did.
I
didn't
really
go.
use AI, but I just like don't think we need to go back.
I think this would be a great thing for a novice editor to do who doesn't write new articles, but maybe is good at writing lead paragraphs. Like there's 6,400.
Well, I thought about that. I thought about doing shout outs to a group of people that I know and asking if any of them want to, increase their edit count by working on this with me. Maybe trial and enter and put on the chalk page, like what their suggested lead would be, and seeing whether I agree with that or something to think about. But I will go ahead with the experiment and see how it goes. Thank you.
Rosie, did you ask the AI whether you should use AI?
I didn't.
Next step. Thank you. All right. Who do we have next? Oh, so we have Anton. So I'm going to be using the audio in a second. So as you may know, Anton couldn't be here. He wanted to do a talk, so he recorded a video. It's on YouTube, and we're going to play it for you now, hopefully. Bold idea, Wikipedia should get an AI-powered audio version for every article.
WikiSpeak.
WikiSpeak.
Hey everyone, my name is Anton Protsiuk, user asset. I'm from Ukraine, part of the Ukrainian and C Wikimedia community, and let's speak briefly about my bold idea, which is that Wikipedia should get an AI-powered audio version for every article. So let me explain the idea first. Basically, the idea is that every article, at least on English Wikipedia and other major language editions, should have an automatically generated audio version, which would be based on its text version and would be regularly updated, and again based on the updates to the original text version. The audio version should be placed prominently in the interface, and it should be easy to consume for our readers and listeners. Why do we need it? We need it because media consumption habits are changing. More people, especially younger people, are preferring to listen rather than read. You might know that podcasts are becoming more and more popular. The listenership for podcasts is growing very rapidly, and AI chatbots are increasingly popular in the voice mode, and I'm sure it will be AI chatbots voice mode will become even more widespread and popular in the future. So why should we seek ground to external services that use Wikipedia's content like AI assistants when people could just come to Wikipedia directly instead to get audio to learn about something? What makes it possible? Text-to-audio technology is already great for English and other language editions, and text-to-audio technology is already great for English and other major languages, and is becoming better fast. So maybe 10 years ago you couldn't do an automatic audio for each article. You had to just narrate everything. You had to just narrate everything. You had to have a human to narrate everything, and that wasn't viable for millions of articles. But now there is text-to-audio technology that makes it possible to voice text automatically. Just to look at major news publishers, major media, many of them already offer automatic audio for their stories. Everyone from the New York Times in the United States to the Daily Maverick in South Africa offers this functionality. Of course, there are some objections to this idea, but in the spirit of being bold, I reject all the objections. Let's take a look at two of them. One downside of offering articles in audio is worse conversion of readers to donors and editors. So when people listen to an article instead of reading it, they don't see the fundraising banner and they don't see the edit button. And therefore they are less likely to either donate or become an editor. But I'm sure we can work with that. For example, we can insert ads in quotes, because it isn't really like an advertising, but just a reminder that people should donate, that people can edit in the audio version of the article. The second objection is that audio is not as rich a format, right? You can't really explain a chart via audio, for example, as you can put a chart in the article. And that's fine, right? It is a downside, we need to acknowledge it, but we should just acknowledge that the downside isn't as big as the upside, as the benefits of offering audio for all articles. That's it. If you want to chat about this bold and provocative idea or anything else, you can see my mail on the slide, and you can just look me up on Facebook and in the Wikimedia or in the Wikimania chat. So have a great weekend.
Great. All right, Scott, let's make sure we have your slides up. Is it this one or are they already in, Sam?
They're in.
They're in. Okay, so we can just play. Good.
I think you and SJ had a slightly different ideas of which talk I did. So I'm going to find out now which talk I. Oh, I'm doing that one. Okay.
You can choose whichever one you want.
This is fine.
You sure?
If there's time, SJ can get his choice too.
I don't want.
Hi, I'm C. Scott. This is maybe, I don't know, this might not be the most unpopular, but sure, Wikipedia should be a social network, right? Like, people are social creatures. They're motivated by friends and by likes and like that little dopamine hit by people saying things that they like your thing. So, you know, it's not hard, right? Your user page could have a feed. You should be able to, you know, people already use the user page to post biographical information about themselves, right? You can just support that, like lean into it. People work that way. Wiki projects are a great, already more or less a social network, a task-oriented social network where the people who work with you on those projects, they could contain feeds of articles and social updates by who's working on what. Talk pages, I think we all agree, are a disaster. There should be two forms of talk pages. I advanced it, yeah. There should be logged chat, logged discussions, and there should be unlogged discussions, right? If you're meeting a friend or you want to talk about stuff, not everything wants to get recorded forever and ever and ever in a talk page. So we have the technology. We could have a button on the talk page. You go into an IRC channel. We could just make an IRC channel for every page on Wikipedia. It's just bits, right? And so anytime you want to talk to someone on it, that's the place to hang out, and you can just talk about what it is you want to write. And then the talk page itself, there's great models now from like Slack for what a task-oriented conversation looks like with like to-do lists and pinned things, and this is what needs to be worked on in this article. And visual editor, of course, should be Google Docs, right? Like, that's how it works. You should have inline conversations. You should be able to collaborate in real time. So here, this is a social profile extension. This is like 15 years old, but you know the basic idea of like customized user pages is some kind of, you know, this is like the UI is 15 years old, but you can all imagine like what Twitter looks like, what Mastodon looks like, what Facebook looks like. But you know, your friends should be able to say, hey, how's it going on your page? And hey, that was a great update to that article. There's a whole like mock-up done. This is Wikimania 2014, so 11 years ago. What a wiki project, what a socially oriented wiki project page looks like. So here you've got a wiki project page. It shows what people are working on. Someone starts a new article, we can say, hey, who's online right now who can work with me on that? You know, let's work on expanding this article. Jane joins the session, they join a real-time session and they go talk together. You know, there's a chat off to the side so they can talk about stuff or type stuff. You can sort of say, hey, how does this sentence look? How does that sentence look? Other articles add content. I'm just going to zip through it because whatever, but you know, the idea is you can see who's edited what and some discussion, right? This is the Google Docs kind of thing. There's a discussion in line with the content you're editing at the time, you know, live history doing all that. So, like, I don't know, this is unpopular, but it's also completely doable, and I think since this is unpopular ideas, why do we still have the same editing interface that we had when Wikipedia was invented? Yeah, hang on, there you go.
Thank you very much. Our former CTO from many, many years ago, Eric Muller, had the phrase of with a purpose-driven social network. If you remember that phrase.
Yeah, those slides were from what talk I wrote.
Exactly. Yolanda, come. I'm just.
And also, we have Wikipedia is not a social network.
Right.
Yeah.
You two should talk.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure.
It's not just anything.
Can I get my slide?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Sorry, it's the
Someone,
PDF.
I thought we had it in there. We can do that. Oops.
Thank you so much.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? We can advance like that. Good.
So, hello everyone. I want to talk about the possibility of an event in 2029.
And I don't know if anyone know about Wikimania is in Olario. Have you been to? So it's about so it's an event. So it's something that I've been contributing in organizing, and it was certainly an unpopular event. So when we proposed it, when we created it, when we established it, in Esino was really unpopular. In the Wikimedia community, it was very unpopular because it was complicated and different. So I think also this proposal can be attached to it. But I think it's also the incredible, fascinating possibility of events. I think there are two amazing features of events. The first one is that they can be indeed a space for experimentation and for changing perspective. An event is quite a safe place to experiment. So it's something that it's feasible. And looking at people, walking in the mountain in Esinolario, somehow it also creates a way of looking at things differently, center and periphery, who contributes to knowledge, from where we contribute to knowledge. Another issue is how you generate artificially a state of emergency. Because what is interesting about collaboration is that collaboration is extremely painful and complicated. But when you create a state of emergency, people do collaborate. So there is the possibility with events, and in Esinolario we reach it because of the size, you can really establish incredible collaboration. And also people need to collaborate because otherwise it's impossible. And this is indeed something that we learn also with the Wikimedia project. So we do something that goes beyond ourselves, that we would not be able to do by ourselves. And the proposal that I would like to tell you about is about the open movement. So in this period of time, talking about the open can really be a value. So we have obviously a political situation that is not obviously concentrating on the open, and talking about the open and putting together the entire open movement could be an interesting way of creating energy around our mainstream option. Because the reality is that we are not a niche, we are mainstream. And claiming it, establishing it, communicating it to the world can be really useful, and also allowing to reinforce our position. So the idea is to organize in 2029 an event during FOSDEM. FOSDEM is already the biggest open event existing. Yes, I always say 10,000, in reality it's around 20,000 participants. It takes place in Brussels in February. Yes, I know it's February. We don't normally do Wikimania in February, but I think we can manage it. And adding to FOSDEM all the events that are currently taking place in the open movement. So open science, open education, open government, of course the collaboration with the European Council, advocacy, open Creative Commons, State of the Map with OpenStreetMap. So the entire community getting together for once. This is not something that we do annually, so it's really something that we can really construct as a chance, but having an event that is shared. And obviously what is interesting about it is not the event in itself, but it's all the preparatory work and the work that we want to do afterwards. So taking advantage of this idea that we always talked about in the strategy, that we want to align with a like-minded organization, we want to work as a movement, we want also to create, and this is, you can see it also in the proposal, a sort of matrix in which we combine our knowledge as a movement. So the idea of this event, there's already a proposal, a little study that I tried to start with some of the stakeholders that could be invited. We already started talking about it with Creative Commons, with Open Education Global. There are many people that are seeing this as an interesting possibility, and FOSDEM already said, yes, this is something that we can do together. So this is also an interesting possibility. Also, Wikimedia Brussels, we started the conversation. Wikimedia Europe, the TV is always hiding when I mention it, but probably this is something that can be also interesting for them. So we are starting it. And the possibility of doing it in Brussels, I know that it's complicated because of the month, but the Université Libre de Bruxelles, which is the venue that hosted, could have more space for this event. So it's something that also negotiable. And we are talking anyway about an event that is proportionate. Consider that FOSDEM is very big compared to other events. If we take an estimate of the participants from all the other open events, we're talking about probably 3,000 people, because we are quite fragmented and it's not really a huge number. Of course, there will be a need of social events, a program that can really be fun, because the risk of this event is that it's very political, ideological, strong, but maybe not so funny. So we obviously need to create a program that is also fascinating. You find more information at this link. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks.
You're a Boston champ.
All right. Richard, you have slides?
No.
No. Good.
So I'm slide free. Yeah, hi everyone. I just put my talk up pretty late this afternoon, but I was sort of inspired by it. I guess my talk is bigger than big tech. So big tech is bigger than ever. It is better than ever. Society across the world is increasingly dominated by very, very large corporations, which have, very, very large corporations, which have a financial incentive to make society worse. They profit from people lying to each other, spreading disinformation, and hating each other. And they're very profitable in this regard. They're in a business that aligns somewhat with our business, but they have very different values. For a time, it seemed their values were somewhat aligned with ours. They used to have slogans like "Don't be evil." They do not have those slogans anymore. There are a lot of, Wikimedia and Wikipedia are really amazing things in the online universe. Of the top 50, 100 websites, we're the only real nonprofit. And people really appreciate that. People in organizations and civil society, I don't think we fully made those connections. I think the world is desperately seeking for alternatives to social media and to all of the really hate-spreading platforms that exist in the world. I think that if Wikimedia was a bit bolder, we could have a position there as the most respected nonprofit in the technology industry, supporting alternatives for things like social media and connections, all the things that Wikipedia and Wikimedia is not, I want us to be. I think we should be more interesting things. We should be not so conservative in terms of genre, in terms of format. We should try interesting things. I don't think it costs that much money. I think we'll find a lot of alliances around the world with people who are desperately looking for something that's interesting. We're in a period of real world crisis. Whenever the printing press was invented, something became really profitable to sell a lot of books about witches and devils. And they started having witch trials, and they started discovering devils everywhere. People think this is from the deep Middle Ages. It is not. The devil witchcraft thing was invented when they became popular as best-selling books, including one that was written by the King of England and Scotland, the famous demonology book. We're at that stage in history. The AI that we have now, I remarked to Stephen Laporte before, is the best possible AI we will ever have. This is the golden age of responsible AI. This is the least commercialized, the least advertising, the least opinion generated, and least infused by the opinions of people running giant corporations as we will ever have. This is the golden age. It is super subsidized. I mean, imagine 44% of people in Kenya are using ChatGPT on a regular basis. It is super subsidized, and it's super subsidized for a reason. To take advantage of these people, to take advantage of the world. I think the Wikimedia movement could do a lot better, and I hope that you can join me. I have some ideas around this, particularly around replacing some of the functionality about projects that used to be good, like Google and Twitter, that used to be good in some respects. I think we should have done the knowledge engine back when we had the chance in terms of replacing Google. People didn't realize quite how bad it was at the time, but I think there's still some opportunities. I have an idea around repurposing Wiki News to become more of a social media platform, which I'm going to share tomorrow a bit during my talk, Keep Wikipedia Weird. And I'm also going to share a bit about Wikisport, which is the idea to do everything that Wikipedia is not, to do all those things. And thank you, and I hope we can make it a little better place.
Very good. Thank you very much, Richard. Ad. I have no slides for you, but you're okay with that?
No, I have no slides.
Okay.
I'll do it interactive.
Okay.
Here's my talk. Move categories to Wikidata. So, I try to bring an unpopular opinion. So,
Can you repeat
Yeah,
sorry.
repeat.
Move categories to Wikidata.
Okay.
I will explain later. But first a show of hands. Who disagrees? Who believes categories should be put on, stay on Wikipedia? Okay. This is so. I have five people to convince. Currently, on each Wikipedia article, there are multiple categories. 1%, less than 1% of readers interact with categories. They are not interested in them, so they're useless. So it's only for your own joy that you're doing it, but nobody.
And they're not.
So be happy with it if you do, but don't think I've write an article and I get a big audience by adding a category. Then we have history. That's back in 2012, if I'm correct. All the interwiki links were moved from Wikipedia to Wikidata. So such a thing can be done. It has been done. And it's time to do it again. Okay, I give it. We keep categories on Wikipedia, but now I'm a mobile user and a reader. And actually, I would like to see on the bottom of the article or somewhere the tags that are on Wikidata. And I would like to interact with those tags so I can search other articles on any combination of those tags or broader categories. So if one of the tags is the person is born in 1963, then I can choose, do you want to see other persons born in the 60s or in the 50s? Or the person was born in the Netherlands, do you want to see other persons born in Europe or more specific? And so on and so on. Categories don't provide. So, my thought is move categories to Wikidata or make better use of the tags in Wikidata.
Great, thank you. And we had these two folks sign up for a talk. I don't know if they're here. I don't recognize the usernames right off the bat. Anyone? We can always return back at the end. But Sam, you're next.
Great. I'm really loving these talks so far. I feel they need to start getting more controversial though. We'll have a second wind where people can go again, or if you haven't posted something, you can come up and give a two-minute talk. So the next Wikiverse project should be Wiki AI. We have Wikis 4 in the pipeline, but I had a great live session for people who are only remote, who are just being interviewed by some local Wikipedians, and we were talking about AI and LLM. He's like, so when are we going to have the Wiki tool that everyone is using? Just click in the Wikiverse. I'm using LLM somewhere else. I want to be using a Wiki LLM. Like, I assume it's coming. When is it going to come? What will it look like? It'll be great. And it's true. It'll be great. And what would we want out of a Wiki AI? Well, you want it fine-tuned on Wikidata and Wikipedia. Magnus has a beautiful little essay from last November where he said, how can you use LLMs to improve Wikidata editing? He tries mix and match. Basically, it works pretty well to identify claims that could be put in mix and match, except it doesn't know QIDs. It hallucinates the entity IDs. So all you have to do is whatever model you have fine-tuned on Wikidata, that will start to work. We should have a model that has the top benchmarks on citation precision and quality. We really care. We're probably the 70,000 people in the world who care the most about getting citation, nuance, and detail right. And we shouldn't be conveying that and passing that on to the models of the world by going and offering human feedback to a proprietary model and then feeling great that we made the model we use every day better. We should make the Wiki model that we use every day better. It should be familiar with Markdown and template syntax. Again, all of this could just be fine-tuned on top of some existing open foundation models. We should use models that are vegan, that only train on material that was intended to be trained on, have deep integration for provenance and context. The biggest problem a lot of people have about any AI use is you don't know if someone was using AI. And so if you knew, you would want to use very different evaluations
before you decide whether that was a reasonable edit. If it comes automatically with some extension of edit summaries, which is the prompt and the model version and so on, because it came from inside the ecosystem, a lot of those workflows can become easier. There can be automated workflows, just like we have bots going around automatically filtering for known quirks. You can automatically filter for things coming from the LLM that had the kinds of mistakes we know the model still makes. Finally, train a model to be skeptical on its own input. This probably requires creating our own foundation model. We have a lot of AI researchers in the research community who have given research talks about why we should have a WikiLM. This is actually a reason for it. You don't want instruct tuning that makes a system that is sycophantic. You want a very skeptical tuning that is always going to produce outputs that say, this is a little bit unclear, this probably needs some more attention. There's disagreement in the sources on this point. And finally, we want things that run on our own cloud for privacy and security. Privacy is obvious. You don't want user data to be going out to some third-party proprietary system. And security, if people know, like we are in, as Richard says, we're in the golden age where models are as good for everyone as they're going to be. Once people know that they can manipulate the world by feeding them different information based on their context, if they know that they're being used by a wiki editor and they want to change what's on Wikipedia because that is what other models are also going to train on, they could feed different results to people based on whether it looks like they're editing a Wikipedia article. So we also need information security. Thank you.
Andrew, you take us home.
Not just take us home, but we have some other folks who might want to speak. And as you said, maybe even react to some of the stuff we had with even more unpopular ideas or riffs. Yeah, I'm going to start the timer on myself. So I have an interesting provocative title. No, it's fine. Why doesn't the Wikimedia Foundation have a Wikimedian in residence? Think about it for a second. It sounds weird, but the British Museum has had a Wikimedian in residence, the National Library of Wales, United Nations, Smithsonian. But the organization at the heart of our movement, no. And you might think, that's kind of a weird thought. But, you know, in 2010, Liam Wyatt, who I think is right here, was the first Wikimedian residence at the British Museum, and the idea was powerful. It was just to act as a bridge or ambassador between an institution and our community, right? To translate values, to translate practices, to create better understanding among the community and the British Museum. And it worked, and we have many, many similar type of things now as Wikimedians in residence at different organizations, right? So imagine the same role inside the Wikimedia Foundation. And you're probably saying, yeah, we have seasoned Wikimedians as part of the Wikimedia Foundation. But here's the thing, they're actually part of the management hierarchy, right? Do they have the ability to speak truth to power? They're usually employed in a certain role, not outside that specific role at the foundation. So a Wikimedian residence at the foundation would have this role of being an explicit translator or ambassador between the community and the foundation. This could explain, they'll help explain the foundation's goals during annual planning, for example. It also could work the other way. When we had folks like Selena Deckerman come on as the Chief Product and Technology Officer, one of the first things she did was try to listen to the community to find out technical needs, who are the right people to talk to concerning commons, where should the effort be to tackle technical debt. And consulting the community was a challenge, and a number of us probably worked with her and helped her find the right people. At one point, before we got to talk to her, the idea was, oh, if we want to understand what's happening in Commons, let's just find 10 or 15 Commons admins and all of our problems will be solved. And you probably, anyone who knows Commons probably knows that just talking to Commons admins to understand Commons, not a great idea. But a Wikimedian resident who understands Commons would have quickly informed the foundation of a better plan, right? So think also about some of the episodes we've had in our community. What if during the super crisis of 2014, we had Wikimedians at the foundation who could speak directly to technical teams? What if during the rebranding exercise, whether we should call the Wikimedia Foundation or the Wikipedia Foundation, we actually had real Wikipedians giving early feedback that the majority of our community is very concerned about that rebranding, right? So we have to resort to open letters or RFCs to give this type of feedback. But what if we could short circuit that and actually have a Wikimedian residence serve those purposes? So here's my modest proposal. Wikimedians in residence at the foundation, and why not more than one, 3 or 5? Right? Different languages, different regions are represented, different tranches. Someone serves 2 years here, Another one serves 2 years there. We have shifting Wikimedians and residents coming and going. So we don't have institutional knowledge left behind. So it's something to think about. I don't think many people have thought about before, but a Wikimedian residence could be the solution to a lot of the woes that we've seen in the past by opening up those channels and having a continuous conversation between the community and the foundation. That's it. Thank you.
So are there any new people who haven't talked yet, who now are inspired?
Any other folks, last moment, or yeah, please, and then James. And then we might have a mystery AI talk if we have time.
So I spent a lot of time trying to think of a talk, and none of them are unpopular enough. So, so I just mixed and matched all my ideas and put them in one bundle. How I would change Wikimania. My first proposal for how I would change Wikimania is I would start to ban people. Nobody needs to go to 20 Wikimanias. If you've been to one, you've been to 5, you may not want to be around the entire time. There are many communities who have the same people come over and over and they are not representative of the community. Maybe Wikimania should just hard cap. If you have come around like 5 times, that's it. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Second, we should force everybody to talk. As in, everybody should have a presentation, something they deliver. If you're coming to Wikimania, you have done something in your community, you have achieved something. Even if it is small, it is large, you can give a talk. We should make that as part of the scholarship process. What talk are you giving? Now that would be a lot of talks. So my third proposal, only lightning talks. There should be nothing except maybe workshops, except maybe group discussions. But other than that, all talks should be limited to 5 minutes only. If you can't summarize within 5 minutes, you're doing something wrong. And that is also incentive for other people to talk to you. Bundle lightning talks in like 5 groups of 5, groups of 10. That will make people attend more diverse talks. People will have to go through the other talks in the session to attend your talk. And at the same time, they will come to you later and have a direct discussion with you of what I can do. Fourth, reduce the tracks. 2 tracks are enough for a train. Why do we need 6 for Wikimedia? When you have so many tracks, you lead to FOMO. You lead to people having like, I will go to this session only, that is only my interest. You don't have people actually going out of the comfort zone. Reduce it to just 2 and see how many people will learn more things. Lastly, anonymous scholarships. To apply for Wikimania, I have to give my real name, surname, everything, address, social security number, whatever. Most of our contributors are actually anonymous. Why do we need all of those details? Just offer the scholarships anonymously, and then when they come to the Wikimania, give them anonymous masks to wear through the event. So that is how I would change Wikimania. Ban people, make everybody talk, only lightning talks, only 2 tracks, and anonymous scholarships.
Teams. All right, you succeeded in the unpopular talks. Very good.
That was good.
All right, ready?
Yep, perfect. Excellent. So my controversial position is it time that we lose our hard line on copyright? Is it time that we broaden our movement and allow NC to join in the rest of our copyright, our permitted licenses, i.e. welcome NC Commons to our movement, move NC Commons from being hosted by Wiki Project Med to being hosted by the Wikimedia Foundation, and allow those projects who wish to use NC Commons and NC licensed material. So currently, yes, we all know that Germans hate anything that's not perfect. So they're absolutely against NC Commons, but why should Germans get to decide for everyone? Yes, they're a big community. Yes, they're a powerful community, but there's other communities in our movement, and each of our communities should be able to have their own right to make the decision on whether or not they wish to adopt NC licenses. One interesting anecdote is, I worked 15 years trying to convince the World Health Organization to adopt a fully open license. In the end, they went with an NC license, and they came back to me and they're like, we're not stopping you from using our material. You're stopping you from using our material. Our material is under a non-commercial license. It means tobacco companies cannot use our content, which is our primary goal, but you are more than welcome to. You're a non-for-profit. You can use NC licensed material. The only person stopping you from doing that is you. So we should grow our tent, welcome more folks into our movement, and quit being so hardline when it comes to copyright. Thank you.
Any other folks interested in giving a talk? Yes, come on up. You next.
I have just thought of this, so I'm not very prepared. I'm George, I use the name Jiku. My native language is Romanian, and as an organizer of WikiLove's monuments in my own country of Moldova, I found that I cannot translate the name WikiLove's monuments in my own language so that it still sounds catchy. That's why I propose to get rid of the WikiLove's phrase at all. We should rename it. Love is a very strong word anyway. It should be reserved for the close ones. So I propose, for example, Wiki moderately approves of science. Wiki reluctantly cohabitates with folklore. Okay, more down to earth. How about Wiki finds moments, or Wiki digs earth? Wiki wants your money. So okay,
Can someone please make a redirect to Wiki digs earth, please, on meta? I don't think we'll come up with anything better than that.
Hello, I am PMG from Polish Wikipedia, and my proposition is that basically we shouldn't allow users to set size of images inside of articles, let's just say bigger than 100 pixels. Because I understand that some icons need to be set in some small number. But when it comes to the standard thumbnail that every one of us is using, basically we shouldn't be allowed to set that it's exactly 252 pixels or 253 or something like this. There is no point in using such specific pixels, so in my opinion it should be removed. But of course people will complain, so it should be done on foundation level, not on the user level. Thanks.
We had some new people come in. We're accepting walk-on lightning talks.
There's one there.
Walk on, yay, Andrew. No. Come on up.
Definitely walk on, because I did not even see this before like half an hour ago. Hi everyone, I'm Andrew, username OhanaUnited. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and we know that there is the ongoing discussion about sister projects and everything, so for lack of a better approach, because there's always going to be someone who's unhappy, put it up on as a vote. You don't like a project and you want it to disappear, put it as an RFC. If it got a majority or like a 7% of the votes, delete that project or delete that language if it's too inactive. And of course, we don't want someone to be playing games. So if a project survived this kind of vote, we will give them 2 years of immunity so that you don't get to repeat the same cycle all over again as soon as the last one finishes. So that will settle a lot of the disputes, and we all respect democracy, and let's put that to a vote. Thank you.
I forgot to put no booing allowed in the guidelines. You can take it though, yes. Any other talks? We'll give you a chance to think about it as we take a chance to show you the mystery AI talk. So
I am
this,
prepared.
you're prepared, excellent. And feel free to prepare other talks as well. So I thought this would be an interesting experiment where I had some raw thoughts about the term volunteers in our movement. And I just put down some thoughts, a few sentences and one quote. And I said, I don't know if I have a formally thought out idea here, but I'll throw it in ChatGPT and see if it can put something together. And it was actually pretty good. So I'm going to read what ChatGPT wrote, given my prompt, which was not much, and see what you think. So this is the talk title, which is, What Happened to Anyone Can Edit? Okay, so I'm reading straight off the ChatGPT generated lightning talk when I asked it to generate one. Wikipedia was launched as the free encyclopedia that anyone can edit. Anyone. Not volunteers, not the initiated, not the anointed. Anyone. But somewhere along the way we stopped saying anyone. Now in our plans, our outreach, or even our annual goals, we focus on volunteers. In the very first section of the Wikimedia Foundation's 2026 annual plan, the goal is to fuel volunteer growth, protect volunteers. That's fine, but where's the anyone? We romanticize the term volunteer. It sounds noble, utopian, selfless. It makes for great fundraising copy. But what if this shift in language is also quietly narrowing who we imagine belongs here? Interesting, right? When you say volunteer, you imply free time, financial stability, internet access, and a certain amount of privilege. You imply someone who can afford to work for free. But in emerging Wikimedia communities, time is not free. Data is not free. Electricity is not free. And if we only target volunteers, are we unintentionally designing a movement that works best for those who can afford to give their time away? Clay Shirky once described Wikipedia as the triumph of cognitive surplus. Millions of people using their free time to build something extraordinary. That's inspiring. But it assumes a world where free time exists. In terms of Global South, in under-resourced communities or for people juggling multiple jobs or caregiving, cognitive surplus is a luxury. If the only way to participate is to volunteer, we risk leaving out voices that could make Wikipedia better, more representative, more balanced, more NPOV. And here's the kicker. Neutrality isn't just about balancing facts, it's about balancing perspectives. If the people with the least free time aren't in the room, then our NPOV is skewed toward those who can afford to be there. That's a bias baked into the structure of participation itself. So what if we actually meant anyone? What if our outreach focused on participation, not just volunteerism? That might mean supporting editors with stipends, data packages, childcare, or paid residences. It might mean partnering with institutions where editing could be part of someone's job description. It might mean funding editing or communities that have the knowledge but not the time to share it. Volunteerism will always be part of Wikimedia's heart, but it can't be the whole heart. If we want a truly global, truly representative movement, we need to think beyond the romanticism of volunteers and remember the promise of anyone can edit. Because if anyone isn't possible for everyone, then we're not really living up to our mission. That's it. Not bad. Right. You're applauding for the AI, by the way. I thought it's not bad. Right?
What was the prompt?
I will share it. I'll put it in the Etherpad maybe, yeah. Yeah, I started with, I'll put the whole thing in. It says, I have an idea for new talk. I'll provide a brief starter idea and some direction, and I want you to use your wisdom and research to craft a 5-minute talk with supporting ideas. That was the beginning of it. And I can put the rest into the Etherpad.
Give me 30 more seconds.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, well, if one person can able to speak before myself, feel free to go ahead.
Okay.
I just want to check one more picture.
Sure, no worries.
We also had some, in the second win section, we have 1 or 2 additional ideas posted by people who have already spoken.
Right. We can go a second round if we need to.
Oh, by the way, can I start the browser while I speak?
Of course. Here it is. Here you are.
Oh. Just hold on.
Don't use my admin account, please.
Of course. I'm going Korean Wikipedia anyway. Don't worry, I'm going Korean Wikipedia anyway, so so I want to show you with what the Andrew just speak about because in Korean Wikipedia we generate oops, I forget about that. I forget about it's not possible to show
show up.
Oh, I cannot able to type the Korean in.
Oh, keyboard is not the keyboard.
Yeah, so just give me a second. I know it's gonna be delayed for 1 minute, but
No worries.
I think there is a way that using AirDrop. So.
How does a URL shortener work? Our URL shortener works with Wikipedia.
So basically what happened was there was a poster that generated, okay, I have idea. Come on, I brought it, yes. Great. I brought it after so I can just see it with the tripod. This is the beauty of the the pop-up like TikTok, I guess, so.
Okay.
Is the video and
Yes.
Yes. So here's the post. So I have two things to speak, but first of all, because I just popped up after your speech. There is a poster actually made for
Use that one. Yeah.
made for the
That screen.
made for the collaboration. So this is derived from the image from Wikimedia Commons. The first version, however, it is made by AI. So what happened was there is the 12 legs, this insect, generated by AI. I cannot show you because it is a little bit difficult to. Oh, can you bring? It's helpful. Yeah. It is very difficult to bring like that, and like the what the authors say, the partners say, what the hell you made? That was first thing I was inspired. And second thing I want to show is stability from Korea Wikipedia. It's like kind of administrative issue. So there was a one contributor contribute. However, it is like the evasion of the block. So what he did is he just requesting the banished account. So what happened is they contributed contribute for the 10 minutes, and once they are found as the blocked account, they just think, okay, I'm gonna banish this account, and they just recreated. This also happens same thing in the temporary accounts. So I want to show you this and we're done. Reason why I'm sharing this, the problem, administrative problem, is it might be your problem as well, because temporary accounts will change their words about the things. However, no, I'm not gonna show you quickly. But there is they can just remove the cookies, and make a new temporary account. So while they changing mobile IPs, it's now done by just removing the cookies. So it might be another problem with the temporary accounts. So I think there will be new ways to evade the blocking. So let's see. Done. Try to contact your laptop.
Okay, thank you. Any other folks? We've about 15 minutes left. Sam, what is your suggestion?
We have a couple of second wind talks. Scott, you had one?
Yeah. Given that you just talked about the difficulty of blocking users, why don't I talk about we should accept edits from Tor?
Oh, edits from Tor. Good.
Are your slides up there still?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think first there was
wait, that's there.
separate domains.
Oh, the butterfly again.
Yeah. I'll find it. It's in here somewhere.
It's 3 cents.
Yeah. Here we go. We should accept edits from Tor. This isn't a terrible idea as I think it seems, but since it's so hard to block people with temporary accounts, let's just give up and accept edits from Tor. But honestly, there are a lot of solid reasons people have to maintain anonymity or pseudonymity on our projects, and I would challenge that. I don't, despite the fact that a lot of editors use pseudonyms, we don't actually do as much as we could to protect editor identities. And since we started calling out companies who claim to do no harm earlier, I'll say I am certain that all the big tech companies are trying their best to associate your Wikimedia identity with your social media profile and your real life identity, and we probably can't stop them from doing that. Yeah, if you accept anonymous edits, the way you do it is you just have an edit queue, right? So an anonymous edit, some edit that came in from some source, would go into a queue. Volunteers who cared about privacy, who cared about like supporting these sorts of edits, could take those and basically vouch for them. They'd apply them from the edit queue and say, I am an actual registered user C. Scott, I say that this is a good edit, right? And I'll take responsibility for it. And then you could layer something on top of the edit queue for a reputation system or whatever else, or maybe you just read it, or maybe you have an AI model which says which edits look good. The thing is, that same edit queue mechanism also works for offline edits, right? If I send a laptop off into the field, it's got an offline snapshot of Wikipedia, the kids in a school use it, they write about their town, they send it back, they don't have an account, like they can't edit. But if you have an edit queue, their edit goes into that queue, and a volunteer who cares about kids in a remote region can look at it and say, yeah, that's a great edit about their town. Accept it, do it. Protects minority voices for a lot of reasons. If you are a member of a protected group, we'll say, you get harassed on the projects. And we have things like draft space, which try to protect you. But the fact that you edited this article about a fellow minority member is very public information. I think we could do better to protect those editors. And again, existing editors vouch for edits, right? So you can be completely anonymous, work on your article, and me as an ally can say, hey, I'm going to protect this member of a protected minority. I'm vouching for that article, right? Any problems with it, that's my responsibility. It can generalize the multi-author collaboration. I showed you like Google Docs stuff before. If I've got lots of editors in an editor session, who is the author of that edit, right? But the same thing applies, right? One person says, hey, I'm vouching for the result of our multi-author collaboration. And so it's a step towards a sort of fork merge process where I have an edit which lives in the system unapplied but can be merged back into the article at some later point. Yeah, so that's it. I didn't say thank you, but thank you.
Yes, I am. Okay, I can quickly just go 10 seconds because I found that original poster.
This is the AI poster.
AI generated poster. So don't trust AI too much because it might be somehow making a strange image, and it might be also be possible because if we are generating AIs, but like the enthusiasts or the professionals might know, but the normal people might not know. So don't trust AI for generating image too much, probably.
Yeah, AI does not have knowledge.
AI sometimes helps, but not sometimes. Be careful.
Great, thank you. Right. All right, thanks everyone for coming. We'll let you go a little bit early. We got a beautiful view. There's food and drinks out there if you want to hang out. What's that? There's no drinks? Coffee, yeah, coffee, tea. Yeah. Sure.
Your person was so unpopular.
You're competing with yourself now. Yeah. Hi, I'm Sony from English Wikipedia, and I'm only giving this because I forgot to introduce myself in the last talk. Yeah. My opinion is Wikimedian of the Year should be abolished. I think that it has become too large. It feels too much like a competition, and whenever people get skipped, they start feeling bad. I have actually heard of multiple Wikimedian of the Year category winners who have felt bad after they got the award because how the community was treating them. Some members changed. So I feel like it is too large. There are too many jokes from Jimbo, and it is just too fancy. So what do we do to replace it? Bunch stars. What I suggest is anytime once you register at Wikimania, you get your badge and you get a bunch of stickers of stars. Anytime you find somebody you appreciate, you give them a bunch star on their badge. It'll be just like elementary school. Whenever somebody does something you like, you'll have a sticker, and it won't be a Wikimedian of the Year, but we will all feel like, yes, we have done a contribution that people like. So, Wikimedian of the Year should be abolished.
I gotta say, I love that bar star idea. We gotta do that. All right, thanks everyone. And we'll try to upload the video at some point.
Thank you, Andrew. And Andrew, you get a box star for this amazing item. What is it called?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.